President Bola Tinubu swears in Kudirat Kekere Ekun as substantive Chief Justice of Nigeria. Federal Road Maintenance Agency commences rehabilitation works in Anambra State. And Federal High Court restrains INEC from releasing voter register to River State Independent Electoral Commission. Hello and welcome to the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. We are live in Abuja. I am Dennis Adegunloye. Now let's begin with the developments at the State House, where newly approved Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kudirat Kekere Ekun, has been sworn in a full capacity. She took the oath of office before President Bola Tinubu at the Council Chamber of the State House. The new CJN, who was inaugurated in an acting capacity on August 23rd, was approved by the National Assembly on September 25th. President Bola Tinubu urged the new head of the judiciary to continue to lead by example and uphold the sanctity of the judicial arm of government. Meanwhile, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has restrained the Independent National Electoral Commission from releasing the voters' register to the River State Independent Electoral Commission for the purpose of conducting the October 5th local government elections in the state. The presiding judge, Justice Peter Lifu, gave the order while delivering judgment in a suit brought before it by the All Progressives Congress. The court also barred the Inspector General of Police and the Department of State Services from providing security during the proposed local government election. The suit was argued on behalf of the APC by its legal team led by Joseph Daudu, SAN. Justice Lifu held that the River State Independent Electoral Commission was wrong in fixing the October 5th date for the conduct of the polls into the 23 local governments when all relevant laws guiding the election had not been complied with. The court also held that the failure of the River State electoral body violated provision of local government's elections conduct law by not publishing the mandatory 90-day notice before fixing the date. Justice Peter Lifu also held that the update and revision of the voter register ought to have been concluded before an election date be legally and validly fixed in law. In light of this, the court has ordered INEC not to make the certified voter register available to the state electoral body until the law has been fully complied with. It also barred the River State Independent Electoral Commission from accepting any voter register from INEC or using it for the purpose of the October 5th local government polls. Now, as part of federal government's transformative infrastructure development, the Federal Road Maintenance Agency in Anambra State has commenced intervention works along the Oba-Newi Okija Federal Road, where a major washout of the embankments is threatening to cut off the road. Onome Okadigbo has details.
The Oba-Newi Okija Road is a critical road affected by erosion, connecting communities to Anambra State. The federal maintenance engineer said the intervention work is part of the agency's emergency repair program by direct labor to avoid leaving communities stranded and livelihood threatened.
Our scope of work comprises of providing retaining wall to backfill the embankment that has eroded and of course reconstruct the end structures of the culverts, channelize water so that the back current that was causing the washout will find its way out.
Other roads visited receiving attention are spur roads of socio-economic importance in Nnewi and environs.
Right, I met the road was already corroded, you understand, and thank God for the government and the people the government is putting the people first.
Motorists commend the federal government and FEMA's unwavering commitment to improving lives through quality infrastructure.
The road is good now because, let me say, some months ago, you can't try it by driving car, even motorcycle cannot pass here before.
This road will not be passing before, but now we are passing the road, and what I'm trying to say is this: after this road is good, I'm gonna try to put bomb because the road now everybody is speeding on it.
From Nnewi, Onome Okadibo, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is pledging to amend the laws that set up the National Sugar Council, strengthening the Nigeria sugar sector as a viable tool for investment income, earning and wealth creation. Chairman House Committee on Industry, Dolapo Badru, revealed this at a workshop organized for members of the committee in Calabar. Justina Etim reports.
The sugar sector is no doubt a viable contributor to economic growth, attracting investments, securing steady supply of refined sugar for local consumption, while providing job opportunities for thousands of Nigerians following implementation of the Nigeria Sugar Master Plan. However, the sugar industry is still grappling with constraints that limit its target of attaining self-sufficiency and exportation, as consumption ratio of 1.8 million metric tons surpasses recent production level pegged at 48,000 metric tons per annum. This interface is to strengthen synergy between lawmakers and the National Sugar Development Council towards accelerating growth of the nation's sugar industry.
Before we leave here, we are going to itemize all the lacunas in the law that sets up the Sugar Council. When we are making those laws, even those things you don't need, let us put them there.
Executive Secretary, National Sugar Development Council, highlights poor sugarcane yields, cost competitiveness, among others, as part of challenges negating full implementation of the Sugar Master Plan.
The BDP projects under the NSFP have also attracted $1 billion worth of investments from its major promoters. These investors have created over 15,000 permanent and seasonal jobs, acquired over 180,000 hectares, put about 13,000 hectares of these under sugarcane cultivation, and established sugarcane processing factories with a total capacity of 18,000 ton cane per day, TCD.
As stipulated by the regulatory body, the target of the second phase of the Nigerian Sugar Master Plan is to facilitate investment to the tune of $5 billion, as well as strengthen capacity of the council to accelerate sustainability. And this is achievable through amendment of the NSDC Act to address loopholes created by conflicting policies stifling the sugar sector. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
In other news, the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, Agile, has announced plans to construct 50 new secondary schools for girls and rehabilitate 255 schools over the next 5 years in Yobe State as part of the project initiative to boost girl-child education. The Yobe State project coordinator for Agile, Abdullahi Bullah, made the disclosure during an advocacy to the 14 emirate councils across the state to garner their support for the initiative. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment, known as Agile, is a World Bank-assisted project of the Federal Ministry of Education geared towards improving secondary education opportunities for adolescent girls aged between 10 and 20. This advocacy by the project implementing unit of Agile to emirate councils across Yobe State was designed to bring the traditional institutions on board for the program to succeed, an agenda which received the backing of the Emirates, pledging to help in reducing the number of girls in the streets and corners in the state.
Girl child education in the past had some backwardness. Actually, His Excellency was able to approve some few senior girl secondary schools, which we've seen a lot of advancement and we know at the end of the day they will benefit, and it will be beneficial to the whole state.
Now that the state government and the World Bank are ready to help in that matter, it will be definitely a great impact to the whole community and the state as a whole. So we are calling on them to do whatever necessary to make this thing a success.
People of this area are aware of Western education. On their own, they do all they can to send their children to school, even female. We have so many girls' schools here in Potiskum.
The project coordinator of the initiative in Yobe State, Malam Abdullahi Ula, says Agile will work in collaboration with stakeholders to improve opportunities for the girl child in the state and make it more appealing to adolescent girls, parents, communities, and institutions.
We will make sure the schools are conducive in terms of the infrastructure, and we provided the necessary learning materials. And for us to provide all these infrastructures, it will have been a waste if we don't have enrollment, which is why we now have to get the support of everybody concerned, the major stakeholders, to see that even after the building of the infrastructures, parents are sending their kids and then have the commitment to see that their girls complete secondary education.
The Agile project was initially implemented in 7 states in 2022, but this year, additional 11 states, including Yobe, joined in order to drive the benefits imbued in the project. In the Matru, Yunusa Suleiman, NTA News.
More than 200 rangers, hunters and women have been trained on the use of technology in biodiversity and habitat monitoring to make the planet healthier for both present and future generations. Kabir Abdullahi reports that the 4-day intensive training held at the Federal College of Wildlife in New Busa, Borgu local government area of Niger State is courtesy of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation in conjunction with the European Union.
The participants were exposed to how technology in biodiversity and habitat can play a significant role in nation building to enhance sustainable resource management, effective conservation planning, and climate change mitigation. It also plays a vital role in the promotion of community engagement, cultural preservation, food and water security, international cooperation, and enhances policy formulation, among others. Some of the participants who were trained in bashes shared their experiences.
I'm very happy because it has brought an understanding between the rangers and the lone hunters. In those days, they take rangers as enemies, and it is from this program, it is clear today to them that rangers are not their enemies.
The training have really highlighted the impact of the rangers to the hunters, and for now we are called reform hunters.
The Director General of Nigeria Conservation Foundation, Dr. Joseph Onoja, represented by the Species Conservation Manager, Dr. Stella Igbe, noted that Conservation Foundation is the nation's foremost conservation organization working across the country for over 40 years to protect and conserve Nigeria's unique ecosystem.
The main aim of the project is to ensure the protection of the national park for threatened species that are within the area, and to also collaborate with communities that are around the park, which we call support zone communities, so that the activities that they carry out can be positive activities that help them in their livelihood, but also sustain the conservation of the park.
Another impactful moment during the engagement was the presentation of critical hardware equipment to Kainji Lake National Park. It includes 2 drones to enhance effective surveillance, 5 Garmin GPS, 7 motorcycles, among others. The Nigeria Conservation Foundation is a non-governmental organization founded in 1988, mandated to preserve the country's national heritage and promote sustainable development. In Yubusa, Kabir Abdullahi, NTA News.
This is the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. More reports in a moment. Stay with us.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman Interministerial Committee on Nigeria's 64th Independence Anniversary, Senator George Akume FNIM-CON, wishes to announce the programs lined up for the celebration of Nigeria's 64th Independence Anniversary with the theme, Reflecting on the Past, Inspiring the Future, as follows. World Press Conference, Thursday, 26th September 2024. Venue, National Press Center, Radio House, Garki, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Special Jum'at prayers, Friday, 27th September 2024. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Time 1 p.m. Interdenominational Church Service, Sunday, 29th September 2024. Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. Presidential broadcast, Tuesday, 1st October 2024. Time 7 a.m. 64th Independence Anniversary Parade, Tuesday, 1st October 2024. Venue, Presidential Villa. Time 10 a.m. All invited guests are to be seated by 9 a.m. Announcer Mohammed Idris FNIPR, Honorable Minister of Information and National Orientation, and Chairman, Media and Publicity Subcommittee.
You're welcome back. A book titled Public Policy and Agents' Interests, Perspectives from the Emerging World, authored by former Minister of National Planning, Dr. Shamsuddin Usman, is driving a national conversation. Tokwe Alabi reports that contemporary leadership is taking advantage of the book in redefining and harmonizing public interest for proactive governance.
337-page book, 15 chapters and 13 authors, centered on public policy and agent interest, seeking a new dimension to national development, came to fruition.
Specially signed
Dr. Shamsuddin Usman and the 16th Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, are spectacular as frontliners in throwing the baits for selfless governance in contemporary leadership.
Nigerians cannot give up. We cannot give up. We have to continue to try and find solutions. And for me, it's difficult, but giving up is not the answer.
For decades, the Nigerian state has been captive to a rentier class that sees the state as a site for rent extraction rather than as an agent for development.
Vice President Kashim Shettima says the book is a driving force seeking to solve critical national challenges and projects the true image of corporate governance in a modern world.
We are all aware that public policy and agents' interests represent indispensable components of governance. They are the dilemma we must accept in addressing the needs of our people and the greed of those who aspire to undermine us.
When you see the copy, you see that I wrote the forward to this book. I did that with all pleasure, knowing that his personal contributions will be a good resource on economic planning.
Every single chapter, while recognizing the enormous challenges we face, is written with a sense of optimism. There are clear recommendations for what needs to be done to get to an improved condition.
The event also saw the formal inauguration of Shamsuddin Usman Foundation, hinged on developing Nigeria's artificial intelligence in the fourth industrial era. In Abuja, Tokwe Alabi, NTA News.
Despite visible challenges, Nigeria at 64 is making progress as a global player. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria said this, but they, however, want more inclusion of patriotic and knowledgeable Nigerians, irrespective of party affiliations, to help governments turn the narrative of the country towards sustainable greatness. Lydia Sampson reports.
Reminiscing on the past, guest on Good Morning Nigeria agree Nigeria at 64 is not yet where it's supposed to be, but definitely not where it used to be. They are optimistic that with behavioral communication dialogues, more Nigerians across the value chains can buy into why the overall good of the country must be prioritized.
So looking at Nigeria at 64, Nigeria should stabilize more than it is now. When we say stabilizing, we're looking at the major indices in terms of unity, in terms of equality, especially if you want to look at Chapter 2, Section 23 of the Constitution. When we talk about the ethics of the country, So I think this is an area that we need to drive, we need to emphasize. We are not going to leave it for just a national orientation agency.
He's expected to have a family, he's expected to have, even if the person doesn't have family, he's expected to actually see what is it that he or she should contribute to the development of the country. And in even thinking about that, it has to be on the basis of the cooperative nature, because not single individual can actually build a country.
They want Nigerians to walk in patriotism, honesty, and discipline, building on the foundation and dreams of founding leaders. The guest applauds efforts of the present administration so far in repositioning the country.
Quality control of this democracy. We've produced presidents, we produce governors, but we need to translate to good governance. And that is about integrity of our elections. But what I even want the president to let people know is that we've come a long way. That democracy may not be perfect, but the alternative to imperfect democracy is more democracy, not less. We can't return to anybody who doesn't have our mandate.
They are on the same page that there are still enormous potentials yet to be harnessed to genuinely showcase Nigeria as a formidable nation endowed by God for greater impact. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
United Nations representative on road accidents victims Yusuf Suberu has implored Nigerians not to abandon victims, but rather assist them to overcome their experience, which are sometimes mentally tasking. He disclosed this while presenting gift items to road accident victims in some hospitals in the Federal Capital Territory. Oyeyemi Ajayi has details.
Traffic accidents are not planned, they just happen. Circumstances at which they occur differ, but the care victims get mostly determine their chances of survival. To bring some level of succor to some of these victims, the United Nations representatives on road traffic crashes victims presented gifts and cash to some of the victims in this hospital, while calling on Nigerians to think beyond what the government can do to them, but complement such efforts.
I want to tell all the commuters, the pedestrians, that you should be careful. Drive as if everybody in Nigeria depends on you. Know that somebody else's safety is your own safety. And please, before you cross the road, please look while you are driving. Don't overload your vehicle. Don't make phone calls while driving. That 1 second, when there is fatigue, take time to rest and regain energy to be able to continue.
Accident victims are very important, vulnerable individuals in the community. So as an accident victim, you are most likely going to be unknown. So in the sense that you may even be a rich person, which your check very fast. But when it's an accident, so you'll be left with nothing.
The UN representative, who is also the founder of the Yusuf Suberu Foundation, however, said not all crashes are caused by drivers' recklessness. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
The Center for Truth and Justice has debunked reports of court cases against the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, calling them fabrications aimed at derailing his fight against banditry. At a media briefing in Abuja, the group of lawyers said having meticulously examined court records, it found no evidence to support these claims. The CTJ said Matawalle has led efforts to neutralize notorious bandit kingpins and has collaborated with the Nigerian military to restore peace and security to Zamfara State.
Continue to stand for what is right. We will not stand idle and watch a nobleman get crucified unjustly. We will continue to support Minister Bello Matawalle in his efforts to rid Zamfara of banditry and restore peace to the region. We also acknowledge his tireless efforts in curbing insecurity in other parts of the country. We will also continue to expose the lies of those who seek to destabilize Zamfara State. We call on Nigerians to stand with us in this fight for justice, truth, and security.
The group urged those thwarting efforts of the minister and the military to curb banditry in Zamfara State to have a rethink and called on the media to verify sources and report accurately. With that, we conclude the news desk at 3 on NTA News 24. Thank you for watching. I am Dennis Adegunloye.